Good morning, everyone. My name is Onika Shepard, and I am the political director for 1199 SEIU, United Healthcare Workers East, and we represent thousands of healthcare workers across this country. And we are here today standing with Congressman Tom Suozzi to talk about immigration and, more importantly, temporary protective status for our Honduras status holders. We are here because immigrants are essential workers who have vital roles in our communities and our economic structure. During the pandemic, immigrants played a critical role for quality health care in this country, and we want to make sure that we are constantly thinking about them as they strive for better lives for themselves and their families. Immigrants contribute to this economy and to this society every day. And because of this, we want to make sure that our temporary protected status holders, that 1199 members are and are working, contributing to our community, that we are thinking about them and taking care of them every day. And so I would like to introduce the Congressman today, who will take us on and have a discussion with us today about what this impact of not protecting our immigrants, especially our temporary protected status holders of Honduras, is going to do to our society. Congressman Tom Suozzi.
Thank you, Onika. Let's give Onika a big thank you. I got to put you guys on the telephone because the call just dropped for some reason. And you can imagine how that works. But let me just get these two guys back on the phone. Okay, is this Alfredo?
No, this is William.
All right, William, hold on. I got to get Alfredo on the phone. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, my phone, my call dropped.
It's okay. We're going to get you back on. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, Alfredo, hold on 1 second. Okay, Alfredo and William, you're back on the line. What's your, hold on. Oh my God. It's those two numbers there. Okay, I'm Congressman Tom Suozzi, and I want to thank all my different partners that are here with me today. I want to thank the SEIU for hosting us. I want to thank my friends that are going to be joining us on the phone in a few minutes, William and Alfredo, who are going to be using aliases because they're afraid to come to the press conference. They're afraid of how it will affect their businesses, and they're afraid of whether they'll be in trouble with the federal authorities, even though they shouldn't be afraid. There's a lot of fear out there right now. Also, I want to thank Nadia Maria Molina from the National Day Laborers Organizing Network, who I've known for many, many years, who's going to introduce Ramon Canales to us in a few minutes. Then we're going to have Gladys come and speak, and I don't actually have Gladys' last name.
Morales.
We're going to have Gladys Morales. We're going to have Ben Lavender from 32BJ, who's very involved in this as well, who's going to introduce us to Perla. And Arlene Gannon, who owns the Community Health Services, is going to speak. And then we're going to have our friend from the New York Immigration Coalition speak, Vlad Halali. So let me start by saying this, and this is one of the most important things I need to say. I want to praise President Trump for securing the border. That's what the American people wanted, and he has secured the border. I want to praise President Trump for his efforts to deport criminals from America. I agree with that policy. I agree with the idea of trying to stop gangs. I agree with all those things. But now I believe it's gone too far. And I think we need to work together to find some sort of compromise to move forward. Because what's happening now is bad for business, it's bad for law enforcement, and it is actually very inhuman and unfair to people, and I believe it's un-American. And I'm using this example today that I think really captures that this is not what the American people asked for. We have people who are what are known as temporary protective status recipients, TPS recipients, who came to America more than 25 years ago, who have been living here in the United States of America legally. legally. They have legal status to work here and live here in America under their TPS status. They pay taxes. They're raising their families here. They go to church on Sundays. They go to work 6 days a week. And they are people that we know in our communities, that we see on a regular basis. And right now, they're terrified. And the Hondurans are about 50-some-odd thousand people in the United States of America that have temporary protective status, many who live right here in my district and here on Long Island and throughout New York. There are 1 million people throughout the country that have temporary protective status. The Trump administration is talking about removing the temporary protective status for these folks. The Hondurans are supposed to lose their protective status on September 8th, and it's just unfair. It's not right. So I'm going to give you examples today, and listen, I've been scouring around for examples, and it hasn't been easy because people are afraid to participate in something like this. And I want to thank the people that are here today, and I want to thank my friends that are on the telephone with me today. I have 2 gentlemen on the phone. I'm using alias names for them. One is named William, and the other is named Alfredo. William owns 2 businesses in my district on the North Shore. He's been here for over 25 years. He's here legally under TPS, Temporary Protective Status. He has 20 employees. He pays taxes. He works like crazy every single day. He has a son that was born here in the United States of America, that went to the public schools, that are around the age of my kids. And now he's being threatened with losing his temporary protective status come September 8th. The second person on the telephone is Alfredo. And again, these are alias names. Alfredo owns a restaurant in my district. He has 10 employees. He has children as well, and that are American citizens that were born here. He's been here over 25 years. Again, he pays his taxes. He goes to work 6 days a week. He goes to church on Sunday. And there are other families that you're going to be hearing about today. Ramon's going to be speaking. Gladys is going to be speaking. Pro is going to be speaking. They're not from my district, but they're examples of these same things that are happening all throughout America. And we need the American people to know that, yes, we agree the border must be secured. Yes, we agree that criminals should be deported from the United States of America. But let's live up to our American ideals. Let's treat people like human beings. Let's build a coalition of business, of badges, of the Bible, of people who say we want to work together to try and treat people like human beings. So I'm going to ask my friends, and this is a little awkward on the phone. William, are you there on the phone?
I'm here, yes.
Okay, will you guys be able to pick this up, the press people?
Yeah.
Okay, so William, I'm going to ask you to go first, and then I'm going to ask Alfredo. So William, about when did you come to the United States of America?
I came to the United States in the late 90s.
And do you have TPS status?
Yes.
And do you own businesses?
I own 2 businesses and I employ 20 people.
And do you have any children?
Sorry?
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 2 kids, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old kid.
And are they U.S. citizens?
Yeah, they're both were born here and raised here.
And how do you feel about the idea that you could possibly lose your TPS status come September 8th?
I mean, it's a terrifying thing for us, you know, like, we don't know what's going to happen to our family, the business that we own, the communities that we serve. It not only is going to affect my family, but it's going to affect the families of my employees and the people of the 2 communities that we serve.
And you live along the...
If we work for it.
No, keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, no, if we were to be removed from this country, I mean, the 2 businesses that I own, I'm going to have to close. I'm the head and the brain of the 2 businesses, and if I'm not here, no way I'm going to be able to run.
So your kids are 20 and 15 years old?
Yes.
Is the 15-year-old in high school, I guess?
He's in 10th grade, yes.
In a public school here on Long Island?
Yes.
And how about the 20-year-old? Did he go to the public schools?
Yeah, he went to public school and he's working on one of my business right now with me.
And do you know other families that are in a similar situation like yours?
I mean, there's a lot of families that are going through the same situation, and it's just uncertain times for us. I understand that, like you say, there's people that don't deserve to be here, but not everybody's a bad person. I've been here for over 20 years. I pay taxes that whole time. I try to do the right thing. We go to church. Like I say, I have 2 kids. I always tell them to do the right thing, help people that need help, look out for neighbors, look out for friends, and, things like that.
Oh, well, I really appreciate you coming on the call today. How come you didn't want to come to the press conference?
Because, like, we feel I don't want to expose myself. I don't want to expose my family with all the situation that is going on nowadays. If it was normal time, I would gladly be there in person and talk, but right now I just want to keep it conference. I don't want to expose myself or my family or my businesses.
All right, well, I appreciate you joining us by phone, Lee. Okay, Alfredo, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So, Alfredo, tell us the similar things that William told us. You want to tell us any of your story?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I come here to the United States like more than 28 years ago. And also I own a restaurant. And also I employ 10 people. And I've been doing this country doing the right thing, paying my taxes, being a good neighbor, not having any criminal record. And I have a 17-year-old son, soon going to start college. I am in support. I am afraid. I was there, to be honest, to what is going to happen if we do it. We lose status. We feel horrible sometimes. To be honest, we cannot even sleep. Because our life, we change a lot since we hear the news. Just TPS is going to be suspended. To be honest, I don't know what to do. I own a business. I have workers. I have a son who had a dream. He wants to become a businessman. And I'm going to be here to see that happen. I want to see my son to become a very good businessman. And also, let me say, we now criminals. As long as like serve our community, going to church, Sundays, doing the right thing, paying like taxes, like all good American does. And also, I can say something about my country, Honduras. Honduras, unfortunately, is not a safe place. It's not a safe place for anybody. Honduras has a very big problem, which a lot of people know about what's going on in Honduras. In Honduras, we have no government. In Honduras, what we have is the cartels. The cartels is the one they are in charge of my country. My country is not safe for me. My country doesn't kill anybody for $5 to have a kid. I don't want to bring my son over there. I don't want to bring my family over there. Where I know now is a trendy agua operating there. For the narcos. Because right now, very much the government is running by narcos. It's the reality we have. It's the fear we feel every single something when we know we can lose the status. And we feel sad about the situation.
All right, Alfredo, well, I appreciate you coming on the call with us, and we're gonna leave you on the phone with us and see if anybody has any questions for you later, but we have some other people that are gonna speak. Is that okay if you guys hang on for a little bit?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so listen, that's the story. These are people that have been here for over 25 years, that have raised their families here, that have businesses here. They are a central part of what makes Long Island and New York and our country work. And this is happening all over America. And this is just one example. There are a lot of examples of other people, but today we're focusing on the Hondurans and the TPS recipients. And there are over, as I said, 1 million TPS recipients in our country. And the Hondurans were invited to stay here in America under temporary protective status in 1999 after Hurricane Mitch. The country was devastated. And America, as America would do throughout our history, reached out and said, you can come to our country. You can live here legally because it's inhospitable to live in your country right now. And we've done that when there have been natural disasters. We've done that when there have been civil wars, when there have been awful incidents that have taken place, earthquakes. And in my district, I've got so many Hondurans and El Salvador, I'm not going to talk about that today, but it's another major population that's here that have legal status TPS recipients. A lot of Haitians that are here living in my district that have TPS status. And again, they're central to the fabric of our communities that live the same as you and your families do. And now they're having that ripped away from them. And it's just not right. And I've reached out to the president. I'm the co-chair of a group called the Problem Solvers Caucus. I said, Mr. President, let's make a deal. We want to secure the border. The border is secure right now temporarily because it's executive orders. You have to pass law through Congress. There are plenty of members of Democrats and Republicans who want to secure the border in Congress. Let's fix the broken asylum system that's being abused. And let's treat people like human beings. People that have been here for more than 10 years that are, other than not having the proper documentation, are otherwise playing by the rules and are central to our country. Even the president has said, he said it several times, he said, I've got these agricultural workers. I have these hospitality workers, people that I know, and think of all of his businesses where he hired hospitality workers. He said, they're good people, they're working hard. They may not have all the proper documentation, but we have to use a lot of common sense. Let's do that. Let's take the president up on what he said. Let's make a deal to secure the border, fix the broken asylum system, but treat people like human beings, especially if you've been here for more than 10 years and you haven't broken any laws other than the fact that you have the proper documentation. And in the case of the TPS recipients, they have the proper documentation. They're here legally at the invitation of the United States of America. And the idea of separating these families and ripping them out of our economy and creating this instability and fear in our community is just plain wrong. And I believe that most American people agree with that, and that is not what they've asked for. So with that, I want to bring my good friend who I've known since I was the mayor and the county executive, Nadia Maria Molina, who's been advocating on behalf of day workers. She's at the National Day Laborers Organizing Network, and she's going to come on up over here. Thank you, Nadia.
Well, I'm definitely not going to start by praising President Trump for anything. But we're here, all of us, because we're standing in solidarity with the TPS holders across the country who are having their, arbitrarily and in an inhumane way, having their TPS status canceled by the Department of Homeland Security. And as the Congressman said, TPS is a promise that the United States made. When people from other countries came here and found that they couldn't go back because there was a hurricane or there was war in their countries, the United States said, you know what, you can be safe here as long as you apply and regularly apply for this. You can work here and you can go on with your lives. And TPS holders have done this for decades. They've been working hard, building businesses and contributing, as we've been saying. But if TPS was a promise, then the Trump administration has broken that promise. For Honduras, for Nicaragua, for Haiti, for Venezuela, for Afghanistan, and many more countries, and that's hundreds of thousands of immigrants. And it's not, they didn't change because those home countries became all of a sudden peaceful and safe, right? That changed because they want to get immigrants out of the country, right? So we stand with together with everyone here and with the National TPS Alliance in particular in defending all TPS holders. We're not talking about some who should be or shouldn't be here, because this administration that we're fighting is not making case-by-case arguments. They're canceling TPS across the board, and they're hunting and abducting immigrants, also, and sometimes citizens across the board. So it's important to know that this past Tuesday there was a hearing in San Francisco in a court case, a lawsuit that was filed by the National TPS Alliance and TPS holders from Honduras, Nepal, and Nicaragua. And this challenged DHS's decision to terminate their status, and it requested a stay in that. And if that court agrees to intervene and postpone the termination dates of TPS, then this can provide additional temporary protection for 60,000 TPS holders from those three countries. So it's specific to those three countries while the case continues. And there are other cases ongoing for other countries as well, as people know, I think. We haven't had a ruling from the judge yet, but no matter what happens, we have to stay united, and we're committed to exploring every avenue, political, legislative, grassroots, every avenue to protect TPS holders. So I want to thank Congressman Suozzi for inviting us. Thank you everybody for being here, and thank you especially to the TPS holders who are taking leadership and who are participating and speaking out. We think that by defending the rights of TPS holders and all immigrants, we're defending all of our rights. We're defending everybody's rights. We're defending the rights of everyone on Long Island and everyone in the country. So thank you so much. I'm gonna introduce now Ramon Canales, who is a TPS holder and who has been active since the previous Trump administration, also speaking out. Come on up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ramon Canales. I came to Long Island from Honduras in 1995. I love my home country. I also love the United States. The USA was a place that welcomes and protects people like me. I have TPS. 3 of my brothers. I have 3 TPS, and my other brother has a green card. We are all grateful to be here, but my brother and I are here in the U.S. because of the situation in Honduras. Hurricane Mitch killed more than 10,000 people in Central America, which is why many immigrants from Honduras and Nicaragua first received TPS in 1999. Now the USA government wants to send 72,000 of us back to Honduras. They say the situation is better now and we should go home. But on the State Department of website, the USA government says that there is not too much violence in the country, and that it is dangerous for people to go there. It is not safe for us to return, and we TPSianos want to stay here. We have the right to stay here. For many years, I have been working in construction, cooking, swimming pool finish, and pizza making. I am a Hondurian, but I am also a pro-Long Islanders. What it is happening to TPS holders is an injustice. My brothers and I came to this country to look for a better future. We give it back to the country and we make it stronger. Do not destroy our future by ending our American dreams. Save TPS.
Thank you, Ramon. Good job.
And now I'm going to bring up Gladys Morales, also from the TPS committee and the National League.
From Nassau County.
From Nassau.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Gladys Morales, soy una salvadoreña orgullosa de residente de Hempstead, Long Island, donde vivo durante 35 años. También formo parte del comité Nueva York Long Island de la Alianza Nacional del TPS.
My name is Gladys Morales. I'm a proud Salvadoran and resident of Hempstead, Long Island, where I've lived for 35 years. I'm also part of the New York and Long Island Committee of the National TPS Alliance.
La alianza está formada por beneficiarios del TPS para salvarle e incluye a todos los países que han estado protegidos por el TPS, como Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, Ucrania, Venezuela, Haití y más. Los tepecianos y las tepecianas vienen de todas partes del mundo. Amamos nuestros países de origen y amamos a este país que nos brinda seguridad y el derecho a trabajar.
The Alliance is made up of TPS holders organized to save TPS and includes people from all countries that have been protected, such as Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, Ukraine, Venezuela, Haiti, and more. TPS holders come from all over the world. We love our countries of origin, and we love this country that gives us security and the right to work.
Crucé la frontera buscando un futuro mejor para mi familia, incluyendo a mi hija que también tiene un TPS. He trabajado en muchos empleos como limpiadora, cuidadora de niños, cuido personas mayores como asistente domiciliaria. Llegué aquí con casi nada, pero he construido una vida aquí y he dedicado más de 3 décadas a trabajar y duro, contribuir a la comunidad y he pagado taxes por más de 25 años.
I crossed the border seeking a better future for my family, including my daughter, who also has TPS. I've worked many jobs as a cleaner and a child care worker. I care for seniors as a home health aide. I arrived here with almost nothing, but I have built my life here. I've dedicated more than 3 decades to working hard and contributing to the community, and I paid taxes for more than 25 years.
Tengo un mensaje para los demás beneficiarios del TPS y sus familias y amigos. Debemos alzar la voz, organizarnos juntos y luchar por la justicia. Vamos a luchar por mi familia, por nuestro futuro. Únanse a la Alianza Nacional del TPS y luchen por los tepecianos y las tepecianas de todo el mundo para proteger el TPS y luchar por la residencia permanente. Después de todos estos años nos hemos ganado el respeto, exigimos que el señor Trump deje de arrebatarnos nuestros derechos. Este país le hizo una promesa a los beneficiarios del TPS y exigimos que la cumplan.
I have a message for other TPS holders, their families, and friends. We must speak out, organize, and fight for justice. I will fight for my family and our future. Join the National TPS Alliance and fight for TPS holders, to protect TPS and fight for permanent residency. After all these years, we've earned respect. We demand that Trump stop taking away our rights. This country made a promise to TPS holders, and we are demanding that they keep it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I want to bring up Ben Lavender from 32BJ. 32BJ represents all kinds of workers, many of whom are TPS recipients. Ben, come on up here.
I'd also like to bring up Perla Canales, who is our 32BJ worker, who's going to be speaking about her situation.
Both? Oh,
Hola, muy buenos días a todos. Muy buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Perla Canales. Soy inmigrante hondureña, tepeciana de miembro de la Alianza Nacional TPS y de la local 32 de Bogotá. A continuo. When I finish, you will start. Empleada del, perdón, de la 32 BJ, internacional empleado de servicio. Vine a Estados Unidos cuando quedé viuda con 4 hijos. Tuve que tomar una decisión y venirme a este país para darles un futuro mejor. En 1998, en el devastador secuela del huracán Mitch, el TPS fue concedido a personas de mi país desde ese entonces. He vivido legalmente en este país.
Hello, my name is Perla Canales. I'm a Honduran immigrant, a beneficiary of temporary protective status, and a member of the National TPS Alliance, and of Local 32BJ of the Service Employees International Union. I came to the U.S. after becoming a widow when I realized I could no longer offer them a secure future in Honduras. In 1998, in the devastating aftermath of Hurricane Mitch, TPS was granted for people from my country. Since then, I have lived legally in this country. I have worked, paid taxes, and contributed actively to the society that I now consider my home.
El pasado 7 de julio recibí con profunda tristeza la noticia de que el TPS para inmigrantes hondureños ha sido terminado. Por segunda vez esta decisión me ha dejado devastada. No es fácil empacar décadas de vida, recuerdos y esfuerzos, mucho menos imaginarme volviendo a mi país, que no está preparado para recibir a 50,000 de mis compatriotas. Hoy nuestras vidas dependen de la decisión de un juez, una decisión que podría darnos el tiempo que necesitamos para seguir luchando por permanecer en este país. Por esa razón quiero aprovechar esta oportunidad para enviar un mensaje claro de unidad, amor frente a una administración que ha demostrado hostilidad contra nuestras comunidades.
This past July 7th, I received with profound sadness the news that TPS for Honduran immigrants has been terminated for the second time. This decision has left me devastated. It is not easy to pack up decades of my life, memories and effort, much less imagine myself returning to a country that's not prepared to receive 50,000 of my compatriots. Today, our lives depend on the decision of a judge, a decision that can give us the time we need to keep fighting to stay in this country. For that reason, I want to take advantage of this opportunity to send a clear message of unity and love in the face of this administration that has demonstrated hostility against our communities.
Vamos a responder con dignidad, con organización y con más unidad que nunca. Estoy orgullosa de estar junto a mí, hermanos y hermanas de la Unión 32 BJ, que desde Boston hasta Miami están luchando para salvar el TPS. Para muchos países estamos luchando en los tribunales con María Elena Hernández, mi hermana de la 32 BJ, en Florida, tepeciana de Nicaragua, demandante de la demanda que se está escuchando en San Francisco para proteger los tepecianos hondureños, nicaragüenses y nepales. También Gerald Mitchell, un tepeciano haitiano y mi hermano de la 32 BJ aquí en Nueva York, quien recientemente ganó su demanda contra la administración Trump para proteger TPS haitiano.
We will respond with dignity, organization, and more unity than ever. I am proud to stand alongside my 32BJ Union brothers and sisters who, from Boston to Miami, are fighting to save TPS for many countries. We are fighting in the courts. Maria Elena Hernandez, my 32BJ sister in Florida and a TPS holder for Nicaragua, is a plaintiff in the lawsuit being heard in San Francisco to protect Honduran, Nicaraguan, and Nepalese TPS. There is also Gerald Machad, a Haitian TPS holder and my 32BJ brother here in New York, who recently won his lawsuit against the Trump administration to protect Haitian TPS.
Es el momento de actuar, es ahora. Es por eso que quiero decir gracias al representante
Suozzi.
por tenernos aquí. Hoy más de 1 millón de tepecianos viven en este país, incluyendo miles de hondureños y salvadoreños. Somos sus electores, amigos y colegas, vecinos. Ahora necesitamos una solución permanente, que reconozcan nuestras contribuciones y nos concedan seguridad. No estamos pidiendo limosna, estamos pidiendo justicia y dignidad. Gracias.
The time for action is now. That is why I'm grateful to Representative Suozzi for having us here today. More than 1 million people live in this country through TPS, including thousands of Hondurans and Salvadorians. We are your constituents, friends, co-workers, and neighbors. Now, we need a permanent solution that recognizes our contributions and grants us security. We are not asking for handouts, we are asking for justice and dignity. Thank you.
Okay, our last two speakers I'm going to bring up now. First is Arlene Gannon, who's from the Home Health Service Agency that really, you hear about the unions that are involved in this because there's so many employees that are doing this type of work that are TPS recipients. There's so many home cleaners, nurses, home health care aides, restaurant workers, agricultural workers, construction workers, people that you see on a regular basis that are doing jobs here that are essential to our lives, that have, again, legal status. Arlene?
Good afternoon or morning. I have worked in the home care industry for many years now. The home care industry takes care of people with physical and mental disabilities. So it could be anything from a child in order for them to be able to go to school. They need a nurse, a companion, or an aide. Or it could be someone taking care of a relative who has a traumatic brain injury and can't care for themselves. Or it could be an elderly person in order for them to stay in their home. It is to provide a safe environment. We are one of the largest home care agencies here on Long Island, and 40% of our workforce are covered under temporary protection status. It's not only Honduras, it's Venezuela, Haiti. We have a large Creole community that work hard every day to take care of our loved ones. Once your TPS status is revoked, you are no longer eligible to work. So unless you apply for citizenship, you can be deported. So not only will this economically devastate, Long Island and Queens, this is something that's going to transpire across the country. And I don't think people realize that the person next to them can be an immigrant. My family were immigrants. My mother was someone who passed away last year, who was able to stay at home and be in an assisted living facility to have some of these wonderful people care for her to make sure her life was the best it could be. She would have never lived to 91 without this care. So we have to understand that people who are under TPS status, these are people who go to work every day, pay their taxes, have done everything right. And what these new changes for these countries that are all taking place in the next 6 months, some of them, just to let you know, Haiti was supposed to be revoked August 6th. They try to roll back 6 months of their TPS status, and it was fought in court to keep it to the original 18 months. So we can't continue to say people are safe here and can work here and then cut them out from the knees and say, you need to go home. And that's exactly what's happening. These are not criminals. These are not people who did anything wrong. These are people hardworking, loving their families, loving your families, and making everyone's lives better. So it's something that everybody needs to be aware of, because unless you live it like I do each and every day, it's not something you really think as top of mind. And this is something very serious that will affect our economy, our families, and the livelihood of people who should be here and deserve and have done everything right to stay here. So I so appreciate it. We have over 2,000 employees.
2,000 employees, of which 40% are TPS recipients.
That is
800
correct.
people. Okay.
And I'm sure 1199 Amber told you, and I brought this issue to them, and I was shocked that people were not noticing it in June.
People who aren't aware of this is going on. That's why we're doing this. So thank you so much,
Thank
Arlene.
you.
Let's give
Thank
Arlene a
you.
big thank you. Okay, and our last speaker is Glad Glali from the New York Immigration Coalition.
I'm going to ask
Hola, buenas tardes. Thank you, Congressman Suozzi, for organizing this important conversation. TPS is a life-saving immigrant status that has been a central component of our immigration policy since 1999. Today, there is over 1 million people in New York State, in the country nationally, that depend on TPS to remain here. In New York, we are talking about 86,000 people. Many of them are immigrants. And here on Long Island, there's a lot of first care workers, healthcare workers, and people who are sustaining the state since the pandemic time. TPS is an issue of fairness and justice. TPS grants individuals who are fleeing extraordinary circumstances the ability to stay here lawfully, the ability to contribute to our communities, the ability to take care of the people who we call family and we call friends. But right now, the federal administration is attacking TPS holders and is attacking the right of all of these community members to stay in a place that they call home. This is pushing thousands of people to the shadows and to work in conditions that are not ideal. And this is just only to meet some deportation quotas that we think are cruel and should not be in place. For that, we are here together standing with immigrants, with advocates, with TPS holders, and in order to find an enhanced TPS, to extend TPS, and to find other critical ways for making people being able to stay in this country lawfully. In New York, we're calling for New York for All, a legislation that is going to protect every single person who calls this state home. And nationally, we are calling for the administration to extend TPS for TPS ending dates for the countries like Honduras. Immigrants, we are here to stay because we make communities alive. We bring light to neighborhoods. We build these communities. We take care of the people who, again, we call friends and family. We are part of this nation and this home. We are ready to work with electeds, with leaders like Congressman Suozzi, with labor unions, with our friends Tepecianos and Tepecianas and their families, to protect and to advance the well-being of everyone who calls New York home. Thank you.
Thank you, Vlad. Okay, so we're going to make ourselves available for any questions anybody has. I've still got William and Alfredo. You're still on the phone, right? Yes, okay. All right, any questions anybody has?
I think we're gonna do it off
One-on-one?
Off podium, yeah.
Off podium, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, no questions, no general questions, right?
What are the 3 countries again for that you're counting on the courts right now?
It's Honduras, which is the biggest population.
But I know
That's
that,
50 some odd, then Nepal and Nicaragua are part of that as well.
Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, that's
Yeah.
the
But the big population is the Hondurans. And again, you know, we can do these.
Haiti was just rolled back from
Okay, but she's asking about the court case.
the latest court. And is there a timeline for when you might hear on that?
When
Yeah, the hearing was
it's up to the judge.
just on Tuesday. They said it should be soon,
Could be today, could be a week from now, could be 30 days, we don't know. But the bottom line is that this is really a court case, of which there's hundreds of court cases against the administration, which you've seen go back and forth on many different issues. The real solution to this issue is to actually enact legislation finally. And the way to enact legislation is to convince elected officials and the president that this is something that can be done in a responsible way, that we can secure the border, we can fix asylum, which is what the people want, and we can also treat people like human beings. And there's a negotiation to be had to get this done that can satisfy the different political concerns of the different parties, but can also live up to the American ideals that we have. And that's one of the things that I'm working on. But the reason I'm doing a press conference like this today is the American people need to know the stories of human beings that are being affected by this. These are people that, as we said over and over again, go to work every day, raise their families here, are trying to live their American dream. And they've been following the rules, and they shouldn't be have the long arm of the federal government reach in and snatch them up and try and kick them out.
Do anybody have any estimate on how many TPS people we have in Long Island?
I did.
I think that's 60,000 is the number you said, Vlad?
86,000
86,000 in New York State.
You don't know Long Island, though?
It's very concentrated in Long Island, I can tell you from my perspective. protected from, you know, being pulled away outside.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for William or Alfredo?
You spoke beautifully.
No.
Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on the phone. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Sorry for keeping you away from your business for so long. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Vamos a seguir adelante juntos.